Gentlemen, welcome back to another episode, just another talk. On this episode, we're going to be getting into a few topics. Usually I cover these one at a time, but it's just too much going on to just talk about one thing for multiple episodes. We're just going to talk about a bunch of things in one episode. It makes it a lot easier. So we're going to talk about Cracker Barrel. We're going to talk about John Bolton. We're going to talk about the Minneapolis shooter. And we're going to talk about Raja Jackson. I don't know why I called him Bell, but Raja Jackson and what he did to the wrestler, which a lot of people are up in arms about, and rightfully so. I wouldn't. I honestly am not gonna defend him. So if you like him, you might not like my take. But we're gonna start today. You know what? Let's start right off with the Raja Jackson. I keep wanting to call him Raja Bell. It's Raja Jackson. Let's just start off with that real quick. There's a few things I wanted to point out that I'm not sure if a lot of people noticed or even know, but if you don't know who Raja Jackson is, that's Rampage Jackson's son. At this point in time, you probably already know. You probably seen a bunch of stuff, but I want to start off with this video, and this is a previous video that Rampage Jackson made about Raja. So let's go ahead and play this video.
And his oldest son, whole life, I knew them two wasn't going to college, and my two Japanese kids, I knew they was going to college, so I saved up college tuition for the two Japanese kids and bail money for Roger and his brother. So
it's looking like he predicted it. You know, he's like, "Oh, I saved up funds for my two Japanese kids, but for Raja and his other son, he got bail money. He's gonna have to reach into that bail money. I hope he's been getting interest on that bail money because what his kid did is crazy. And if you haven't seen it, I know I can't play the full clip of really what he did, but I'm pretty sure by this point in time you've probably seen it. See if I can find a quick video. So, damn, that's loud. And you already know. Then he hit him 22 times. I counted 23. But people are saying 22 is over 20. Okay. And regardless of what you think, first and foremost, the man is not a fighter, he's a wrestler. So that's wild. And I know that there might be some people who might not know what have happened. So just to show some context of what happened, why this even started, I'll go ahead and show you the clip that caused this to even happen. Do I have it? Did I get this up? I might have not gotten it. Let's go. Let's go. See, I keep wanting to put Raja Bell. Jackson, Psycho Stu. So the guy's named Psycho Stu. And okay, here's a video.
What, you don't know me?
Hell no. Yeah.
Hey, hey, I think that's a little. Oh, you don't sell it? Easy. He's not a fucking worker, bro. Calm down.
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
you're good.
What the fuck was that?
You don't sell it?
No, he's not a fucking worker.
So if you hear him, he said you're gonna sell it, as in he thought he was working. That's why other people are like, "Yo, he's not a worker. He's not working." You know, one of the common conceptions. Wow. One of the common thoughts that have been had about the situation was the fact that Psycho Stu, which is the guy who hit Raja with the beer, was thinking he saw the camera and he was in, what's that called? He's an actor, or I forget that there's a specific term when you're still portraying or you're still working. So he saw the camera, he thought they were shooting on promotion. He hits him with the can, even asked him, did you're not gonna sell it? And as you can tell, he puts his hands on him, and Raja just, kind of like peacocks. It's like, oh, what the fuck? Like, I'll mess you up, da 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 da. And so let's watch the rest of it.
What the fuck was that? Hold on. I don't play that shit, bro.
Oh, sorry.
Nah, I will fuck him
we're
up,
good.
bro.
I know you will.
Nah.
We're good.
I will
Sorry
fuck
about
him
that.
up, bro.
I know you will.
I don't play that shit.
Sorry about that.
Nah, I will fuck him up,
I
bro.
know you will.
So there's a part here that I'm not sure if I have it up yet, but there's a part here where Stu even apologized. I think
Yeah. Hey, yeah.
I'm sorry, bro. Hey, it's gonna all work out.
Yeah. Hello. I appreciate it.
I didn't know. I thought you were camera.
I get it.
We're working out. Well, he's gonna come out on your mat, Juice. I know you keep thinking we're working. We're always working.
I get it. Yeah. I get it now. Now you
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're always working.
And just
now, as you can see there, it seems like they squashed the beef. So there's no need for him to do what he did in the ring, which again I think speaks to some sucker shit. And I'm just gonna say it how it is because you can't be that mad at somebody doing something, squash it, and then catch them off guard because that's exactly what he did. Now there are other videos which I do have where they were talking about, oh, you can give him his receipts for what he did, right? And I'm not sure. I know I got it. It was his friend. Oh, this is right here.
You run in on his shit, you fucking give him his receipt. You remember what a receipt is? Give him that fucking receipt, bro. Tag his shit. If you got a fucking problem with it, I'll fucking run out there.
So that's before they go out and Raja sits down and is waiting for somebody to tap him so he can jump in the ring. The guy talking to him, his name is AJ, which apparently is I shouldn't say was, but is Raja's friend. And Raja was just there supporting him, which again makes this even sadder because Raja clearly, number one, he's clearly a crash out. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, that's Rampage's son, so of course he's gonna be a crash out. Like, no, that's not. I don't think he's a crash out because he's Rampage's son. I think he's a crash out because of some of the things that he's been through with Rampage, right? And so some of those things, which this is a picture of Psycho Stu in the hospital. He's obviously up and awake, and that's a good thing because for a moment there you thought he was dead, but I know that I have. Let's see. Let's go. So one of the other things that I want to show is I just typed in Rampage Jackson talking shit about Raja. And there's been plenty of times where he said things. I showed you that video earlier where he's like, I got bail money for Raja, but there's been plenty of times where he's disrespected his kid just straight up. Oh, this is another thing that I don't know if a lot of people know or have seen it. I know some of the videos that I watched, because I watched the whole live stream before I started this, and I watched some of the interactions that were had beforehand. I didn't really get to see any other content creators respond. I like to respond on my own. I don't like to look at other people's stuff and then say something that they said. I rather just have make my own opinion about it, and then I'll watch other people's content. But I saw this, and this was a phone call, which was after Raja got hit with the can, but before he went, before he jumped into the ring.
yo.
Did you get jumped by a bunch of dudes in tights?
You said what?
Your stream, you was hugging on a dude in some damn tights.
Man, shut the fuck up.
Man, you shut the fuck up. I looked at your stream, nigga. You were hugging on some dude in some booty shorts.
I wasn't fucking hugging on nobody.
I saw you, nigga. I saw you hugging on your
you
coach.
have some sexual fantasies. You need to stop that shit.
No, I don't got no sexual. I'm not around a bunch of dudes with some damn
I'm at a fucking pro wrestling show. Exactly. Watch. My dad can't never call me a bitch.
See, like, you notice how
Straight up.
you notice how like he calls this kid and is almost antagonizing him, like treating him less than. And there's plenty of videos out there if you want to go look at him where he's just belittling him. There was one where he was in a match and he smacked him. Now I think Raja won the match, and then he came on to talk. Rampage came into the octagon to talk, and he actually hit Raja. Now it was an accident, maybe it wasn't intentional, but you could just see the tension, and you can also see the fact that Raja just wants approval from his pops. Like any dude, any man, any young boy, and he's 25, so he's a grown adult, but like anybody would want from their father or their parent, you want respect. You want them to be happy for you, be proud of you, and just show that overall enthusiasm for you accomplishing things that maybe, or maybe not. I don't even want to say maybe, but just accomplishing things that they can respect you for, right? And Rampage Jackson was a great fighter. I've watched a bunch of his fights. His name is Rampage. Like that's all I gotta say. But going back to his son, you could see how throughout the live stream, like Raja's just like, oh, bet you don't think I'll crash out? All right, watch this. Oh, what do you chat? What do you think? W's in the chat if you want me to slam him. Should I? I'm gonna punch him for real. But what else you want me to do? Like he allows his chat to control him. He allows his chat to say things and do things that really get to him. And I don't understand that. In the little bit of time that I've been doing content, I've received plenty of comments that I'm like, that's distasteful. That's annoying. Why would someone say that? But at the same time, I'm not gonna go crash out because somebody's sitting behind their computer screen who doesn't have the gonads to put their face on a YouTube channel and talk shit or go out there and live stream and talk about not only their life but just talk in general. I'm not gonna let them get on my nerves. That doesn't make sense. Like it's just crazy, and that goes to show you the level of logic that's missing from him. The fact that he was just so quick to be willing to crash out, which to me is nuts. Like I can't believe. Like,
How many subs to knock him out? That's a good question. I'm gonna fake crash out. All right, bet. You about to see you about to see how fake of a crash out I am. Now I get a chance to get in the ring and do some shit to him. Exactly. People think this shit's sweet. People think this shit's a fucking game. Straight up, bro.
See just the level of anger that he exudes. Like, oh, you think it's a game? You think I'm a fake crash out? Like I would never let somebody and someone ever made me that mad. Like I'm out, man. Like unless you put your hands on me or you say something. I can't even say something about my mother because I know people gonna say something about your mother. But like, don't put your hands on me or anybody I love, and we good. Like I'm out. I'm walking away. Like I don't need that headache. I really don't. I want to show the reaction after the fight. See if we could yeah.
Hello?
Hey, where the hell you at? I told you to double leg that motherfucker and start welding him. I just saw the video.
Shit pissed me off though, Andre.
I understand that, but now they can't wake the nigga up. He's fucking in the ring, fucking flatline, bro.
My
You
bad.
didn't have to do all that shit. I understand y'all had heat. You didn't have to fucking take it there.
All right, I'll call you back later.
Let's go. Ready? Get in the car. Let's go.
That's not even a video I wanted to show. There's one more.
Bruh, real shit. One of them was a bitch and fucking bit me. I'm tired of everybody fucking playing with me and shit. Think I'm always playing and shit. Call me bitch and shit.
You see, like, this is directly after, right? And even how he's breathing, he's upset. He's like, people always messing with me. I think he did this to prove a point. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, he did it on purpose. Like this was his whole goal. Even though there were points in times where you could see like he's ready to cause this man hurt. But there's also another perspective where it's like he was that angry. He lost control. People lose control when they're angry. That doesn't excuse your actions. But there's a level of understanding that comes from the torture that he's received, not only from his father, but the torture he's received from his followers, his chat, and the millions of messages that he gets, and just the overall fact that he's living in the shadow of his father, somebody who I can only imagine what it would be like to be trying to fight, and your dad, who was, for all intents and purposes, a crash out himself and dominated the UFC. Like he was known very well, like especially when the UFC really started getting popular. Him, Anderson Silva, who else? I know Brock Lesnar was up there for a little bit, but there was one of the gentlemen with the cauliflower ears, a white boy. I forget his name. and also Chuck Liddell. Like during this time, I would say that would have been almost like the best time for UFC right at the beginning when all these guys, which were all kind of crash outs to be honest with you, but Rampage specifically was just this larger than life personality who not only excelled in the ring but then also had moments outside of the ring where there were problems with police and misdemeanors and getting in trouble overall. And now you're living in the shadow of him who's made millions of dollars and continues to make millions of dollars, and you got to prove yourself trying to fight. People are going to test you. People are going to tell you you're not as good as your father. People are going to tell you you suck. People are going to tell you you're not a crash out. And so all of that combined led to this moment which is very unfortunate, because I'm not defending him at all. I'm not defending what he did. You know, he acted like an animal, and I know a lot of people have said that. You know, I've seen some of the tweets. I think it was what's his name, MMA Guru, if I'm not mistaken. He said that, and they were calling him racist for that. And it's like, nah, man. Like, he acted like an animal. He wanted to hurt this man, and not just hurt this man. Like, if they don't pull him off in the ring, he probably kills this guy. Like, he definitely hurts him to the point where this guy is like no longer with us, and he's lucky that this guy is still with us, because he could have be in way more trouble than what he is right now. So I want to show you one other clip too that I believe. Let's see what this is. I'm pretty sure. Oh, this. So this is the. This is,
up and he shoots a.
This is one of the guys that jumped into the ring, and I just want to play what he says because I think it's important.
When we're in the ring and I'm breaking it up and he shoots a fucking double leg on me. By the way, work a better fucking double leg, you fucking prick. And then I'm telling you to fucking calm down. I'm not even fucking fighting. I'm not even being fucking hostile. Then you're trying to fucking work and get lower, do this, change positions, and I'm over here having to swim with you, all this other shit. And then you fucking punch me in the fucking eye after we're breaking it up, you fucking loser. That's why you got fucking headbutt, and that's why I fucking punch you, and you're fucking lucky I was tired from the match before this. What kind of fucking person are you? You fucking low-life fucking clown. You want fucking clout, so you beat up a guy that's fucking half unconscious. You punch a guy that's trying to break up a fight and not even trying to fight you. I wasn't even trying to fucking hurt you. The fuck is wrong with you?
So, do you think he wanted to continue beating up Stu?
I think he would have killed him.
If you didn't stop it, right?
I promise you he would have killed him. He would have killed me if he would have got the best of me. If he would have took my legs out from under me like he was trying to, he was going to do the same thing to me that he did to Stu. Clearly, you watched the stream when he's walking away. I'm tired of people fucking with me. I don't care how many times you've been fingered in your life, bro. I don't give a fuck. If you got a fucking problem with the fucking world and the people around you, change your fucking people around you. Change it up a little bit. Go to therapy. Get some fucking help. Don't take it out on everybody else. And then you want to train by one of the best fighters to ever fucking live, your fucking father, use his fucking clout, use his fucking knowledge, and then you want to hurt people that don't fucking train like that? You're a fucking bully.
So that's I couldn't have said it better myself. And one other thing I noticed too, you have a lot of people coming out and saying, you know, racist things and just saying things that I'm not even gonna say racist. Let me take that back. You have people who immediately see a black guy and a white guy fighting, and immediately it's a race thing. It's not. I don't look at it as a race thing. I don't think Stu was racist towards Raja. I don't think Raja was racist towards Stu. This is what happens in a moment where, regardless of how you want to categorize what Raja did, but in a moment where someone gets very, very angry, has their buttons pushed, and then they react. No thought process, no thinking about consequences, no thinking about how this could affect them or the people around them or their future, just action. And you have a perfect example of what the internet can do to people and why you shouldn't just listen to these trolls on the internet. Because you listen to these trolls on the internet and you're gonna end up like this. You know, I think they're gonna throw the book at him. I would have thought that by now Raja would have been arrested, but he hasn't been arrested. So that's really making me think that they're not only compiling evidence, but they're working to have what's that term? A solid case. So that way when they do bring these charges, which I don't think it's that hard to not have a solid case, but you know, they're working so Nothing can slip through the crevice, and they're gonna throw the book at him. And he did this on live stream. Yeah, like this is, and then add all the coverage that it's getting. Kick is gonna have to ban Raja. If they don't ban Raja, I could see other idiots imitating this and crashing out because they think they can gain followers, they can gain notoriety, and it could end up a lot worse than this situation. So I still can't believe like all the things he did. Like to me, it's complete insanity. And the people who are defending him or don't want to categorize it for what it is, to me, are doing an injustice not only to Raja but also to Stu. Like Stu didn't sign up for that. Stu was just a dude who was in a wrestling match who was told, hey, he's gonna get his receipts, which you would assume is like, all right, he's gonna do things that are within the dynamic of what you call wrestling. And one other thing I want to add too, that referee, he needed to jump in. I know the referee saw him raging like that and was like, I'm gonna get my ass kicked if I jump in. But bro, you're the ref. You gotta do that. Not taking anything away from Raja, not trying to condone what he did because it's not okay. But that referee needs to want to protect player safety. That's what his main goal should be. All referees in any league, regardless of what it is, whether it's basketball, whether it's NFL, boxing, MMA, anything, you always notice, especially in combat sports, the refs get in the middle of things immediately, even if punches are thrown. This is still pro wrestling. Maybe they don't have any specific contract written or anything written specifically to have the referee feel comfortable, but bro, you gotta defend your people. Like this is not that was not the way to defend your guy. So I just want to play Rampage Jackson's reaction to Raja, and then we'll move on to the next topic. Let's see. Oh yeah, this
shit put me in like a bad mood. You know what I'm saying? I feel bad about Psycho Stu and his family. His family had to see that. Really not my place to say anything, and we gotta let this shit play its course. I just wish I could have been there, but I couldn't. Shit is wild. Now shit all over.
Now it has music, so I don't want to keep playing it. I don't want YouTube to cancel my stream, but I'm not. You see some of the responses that to some of the things that Rampage has said, and people are not happy. People thinking he's defending them, and he's not. He really isn't. He's a father, and you gotta parents of kids who do extreme things like this situation. I would say outside of school shooters, and even school shooters need some kind of grace. But their parents, you can't expect them to want to throw the book at them. I'm not upset at what he said. He said plenty of times he doesn't condone what he did. But I think part of this situation, I think he has a lot of fault for part of this situation that happened because he definitely antagonized them. And I think if instead of going at his kid, talking about, he was, there's a bunch of dudes in tarantarans, right? Which is what he said, which is crazy. Try to de-escalate the situation. Hey, what's going on? What happened? Oh, okay, this happened. Just stay chill, man. Don't do nothing crazy. Oh, you're gonna go in the wrestling ring. What are you gonna do? Do you have a moves planned? All right. He probably would have told him, yeah, no, I'm gonna mess this dude up. I'm gonna mess him up. But like, nah, don't do that. Remember, he's a wrestler. Like, just giving him some kind of advice would have helped the situation. Now, on the other hand, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people thinking, oh, well, Rampage, his name is Rampage. What kind of advice do you think you get from him? He's not a great father. I'm not going to stoop to that level and say he's not a good father. I could definitely agree and say that he's made mistakes in raising Raja and how he's raised them and some of the things he said, especially publicly. This is just from the public things that I could find that I saw. That's not the way to go about it. I don't know their complete dynamic. I don't know everything about the life. but also the fact, like I said earlier, of Raja growing up in his dad's shadow, and it just seems like Raja wants to get it out of the mud. This is a this is gonna be a great example for him to get it out the mud. He's probably gonna get convicted of something, aggravated assault, maybe. I don't know if I'd say attempted murder, because I don't think he wanted to murder him, and I think they might even, if it's a good lawyer, he'd throw in like, hey, his passion, he was upset, right? So aggravated assault, maybe attempted manslaughter. I don't know if that's a thing, attempted manslaughter, but regardless, something within that nature where he's gonna do 5 or more years. Like he's going to, if he doesn't do 5, at least a minimum of 5 years, I'll be extremely surprised. With just off of the notoriety of one, his dad, and how many people have seen this. Somebody in the chat said hey, crazy. I think you meant to say he, but yeah, he is crazy. I agree. Like he's nuts. Like that was, you can't be like that. You can't. Let's see if we could. What's this right here? Rampage Jackson reacts his son. No, let's. Is this the?
It's hard for me to talk about it, but I'm just keeping 100. I feel bad about what happened to Psycho Stu. I don't condone what my son did at all. Very, very unfortunate. If I was there, things went down, but what I'm saying, I wasn't there. I'm a father, so I gotta have my son's back, but I'm gonna let justice play out, take its course. Ain't much I can do on that side, but be a father. Y'all know I can't talk about that shit. I can't talk about any details and stuff like that.
Yeah, for legal purposes, of course. He doesn't want to say too much because he knows he's gonna, he knows he can jeopardize the case. And I think he could get in trouble. He definitely could face some kind of repercussions for essentially antagonizing him.
First of all, really sorry. We're really sorry about the whole situation.
I wish I could.
Yeah.
TMZ.
I just wanted to see if there was any updates.
Oh, this is that look like my
Racist people give me death threats and stuff like that. Like I'm a puppet master. Calling me a bad boss. It's uncalled for.
That's uncalled for. None of this is your fault. You made your explanation.
Anything I say is twisted anyway.
Yeah.
Let's go get the turkey.
I hear. Hey, prayers are with you and your family, man. Seriously.
Yeah, that looks
No,
like
seriously. Everybody exercise compassion here. Take care, Mr. Jackson. How you doing, Mr. Jackson? Anything to say about? And first of all, really sorry. We're really sorry.
At least he approached it with some level of respect. Yeah, that was definitely Miami. So yeah, there you have it. I want to know what you guys think. Put it in the comments or put it in the chat. Either way, let's move on to this next story. Let's talk about the Minnesota shooter. So if you guys didn't know, I believe this was yesterday, August 27th. There was a shooting at a Catholic church. So I'm gonna play this press conference real quick of I believe this is the police commissioner, this is the police chief. Brian O'Hara confirms the shooter is a 23-year-old Robin Westman and the existence of a manifesto. So let's go ahead and play this real quick. I probably should unmute it.
The coward that shot these victims took his own life in the rear of the church. That coward has been identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman. No prior criminal history. As to the weapons used to perpetrate this horrific attack, there was a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol. All three had been lawfully purchased by the shooter. At this stage, we believe that the shooter had acted alone. There is no indication of other suspects directly involved in carrying out this attack. Our investigators are working with other agencies in the process of executing 4 search warrants. One is for the church itself, where this crime occurred. The other 3 are residences nearby in the metro that are related to this shooter. Additional firearms are being recovered from those 3 residential locations as we speak. We are also aware of a manifesto that the shooter had timed to be released on YouTube. This manifesto appeared to show him at the scene and included some disturbing writings. That content has since been taken down with the assistance of the FBI, and it now remains under active review by our investigators.
Crazy. Throw the book at him. He needs to be under the you can't throw the book at him anymore because he's unalived himself. But he needs. That's not the guy. That's definitely not the guy. So
the coward that.
This is the guy or girl. I wonder if they were transgender because they're really looking. I don't know, but again. Let's see, Minnesota school shooter identified, and it's the usual suspect, white male. Perhaps the National Guard should have been in the neighborhood. Yeah, that's a silly post. Must be a liberal. So the guy's name, what he said his name. Oh, let's see what Charlie Kirk had to say.
News about the shooter in Minneapolis that is worth mentioning. Evidence is emerging of the suspected shooter in Minneapolis appears to be a psychotic and manic 22-year-old man, possibly trans, who left an 11-minute manifesto video on YouTube hours before the shooting happened. The video has been taken down. The suspect wrote notes on the weapons he used, including "Kill Trump Now." Let's put these up on screen, by the way. McVeigh, where is your...
If you don't know, Timothy McVeigh was the guy who set the truck bomb, if I'm not mistaken, in Oklahoma. He knocked down a building. I think it was like 90-something, 97, 96. I don't remember the year exactly, but yeah, he leveled a federal building in Oklahoma with a truck bomb.
For God, burn Israel. 6 million was not enough.
Wow.
He had a human shaped target with...
That's 6 million. He's referring to the Holocaust, which is a crazy statement. Like, that's wild. And he shot up a Catholic school, if I'm not mistaken. It's like, but
with Jesus's face attached to it.
Wait, let's go back.
This was an shaped target with 6 million was not enough. He had a human shaped target with Jesus's face attached to it. This was an explicitly anti-Christian hate crime. I hate that word hate crime, but let's put up some of these images. We have them in the chat here. And again, this guy's completely manic. He should have been in a mental institution. And let me just take a pause. We need to bring back mental hospitals, and a lot more people need to be in mental hospitals. It would solve a lot of our homeless problem. And this guy obviously should not have been in the free society. He is deranged. He was manic. He should have been in an insane asylum. When we opened up the insane asylums, it was a bad decision for the country. We need to bring back insane asylums. He writes here, McVeigh.
That's the rifle. Let's see. Suck is life. Destroy Hamas. Burn Israel. What's this? Sal Rouge? Sal Pais? I don't know what that means. Maybe that's a different language. Yeah, that's just crazy.
They kill Trump now. He says 6 million was not enough. I'm not going to say his name on air. We don't do that around here as to try to not memorialize the dark and the demonic activity. Hatred destroys the soul. And he targeted Christians for a reason. He targeted young Catholic kids for a reason.
Yeah, we know what that reason was. Oh, this is the manifesto. I know I can't show the video. Because then YouTube will obviously shut the live down. But if you want to go see it, you can. There's plenty of images of it. Let's see. So let's see. Just in the suspect in Minneapolis, Minnesota shooting a Catholic school and church has been identified as Robin Westman, who posted a manifesto. On social media just 2 hours ago, including a video showing the words "Kill Donald." That's nuts. That is. I mean, it looks like he looks like a she. Ponytail, like breaking shooting 22-year-old biological male transgender who posted a manifesto. Yeah, I mean they're saying transgender. I don't know how accurate that would be, but you know, let's see what we get when we put in a name. This is crazy. So the dude on the right is the guy that shot at Trump, which is another crazy story if you think about it. Like, dude shot at Trump, and we know nothing about him. We don't know anything about his backstory. We couldn't find anything. He had a bunch of phones, and still to this day, we don't have no information. That's crazy. That's the guy on the right. Obviously, the guy on the left is the dude who shot up the school. 13 minutes. In 13, I know more about Robin Westman in 13 minutes than I know about Thomas Cooks in 13 months. That's a good point. That's a really good point. Let's see. Oh, look at some of the. So these are some of the images that he had. Corman killed Trump now. For the children. Yeah, like you gotta be crazy. You gotta be crazy. How many rounds? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 magazines. Looks like this one's. That looks like a shotgun magazine. The one all the way to the right up here at the top right corner of this image. That looks like a Smith and Wesson. He had a shotgun and an AR, AR-15 possibly. I'm curious what kind of brand of AR. Looks like a red dot. He had a red dot on it. Yeah, this is. It's like I have trouble with school shooters because I really think trans women are insane, man. I have an issue with school shooters because I really think we need to figure this out. School shooters happen because of what I believe is a multitude of things. Number one, they don't have the appropriate adult supervision. Okay. Number two, there's a lack of response to when a parent makes a complaint about their child, if the parent even makes a complaint. And number three, I would say is how we treat mental health in this country is just inappropriate. It's not enough. It's looked upon, especially in most recent years, it's looked upon as like, oh, you can't, everyone, first off, everyone has mental health issues. Everyone has, we need mental health awareness. But then we do nothing outside of this kind of parading nonsense on the internet of, well, mental health and this, and you gotta have time for yourself and quality and this, quality of life and vacation and taking time. And that's kind of like where it stops, right? Not to mention that we don't have any more insane asylums, and however you want to call them, well, whether the people were being treated badly, and we've heard plenty of the stories and how bad it was. But we need to figure out something to do with people in society, and you could see them. You could see it when you walk past some homeless people who are not bothering anybody, but are talking to themselves. And I'm not just talking about kind of the normal dialogue that you would have with yourself when you're walking through a store, reciting a list. You were reciting the list of shopping items that you had to get, or when you get to your car and are unlocking your car and putting the bags in the car, and you might say a few thoughts out loud to yourself, right? That's different. I'm talking about the people who have full-blown interactions that you can look at, are in the middle of the street, are haven't taken care of themselves very well, and to no fault of their own, they just can't. They don't have the ability to manage themselves. And so we've turned what I would like to think is a whole set of people, just turn them and allow them free on the streets who need help. And we don't have any mental institutions. We don't have anything that helps people once they get past a certain threshold. And I think it leads to a lot of these issues, because no sane person is gonna go and attack children. Like, to me, that's kind of the worst thing. One of the worst things you could do is attack a child defenseless. All children are defenseless, or even something like a woman who's pregnant, or nowadays you got to call them birth in person, right? Which is another wild thing that I think speaks to the 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 not only incoherentness of what we're doing to the English language, but also the fact that mental illness is an issue, and we gotta figure out a better way of how to handle these things. We're not having as many, and I know they changed the definition of mass shootings. They changed them from like a larger group to now it's like four or more. So you have more mass shootings, quote unquote. But we don't have the level of things that we've experienced in the past. But I think our schools should be treated like banks. At banks, you have a level of security that is unparalleled to many other businesses. Same thing with diamond sellers. If you've ever been into a store where you're buying a ring, or you're going, you're buying something extremely expensive, you have these stores that have buzzers in and out. You have these stores that have protection on the outside, have surveillance on the outside. If not, actual police car or police presence in the general area. That's just one of those things. It's like this is crazy. Who's this lady? This is the face of pure evil. This is Robert Westman's mom, Mary Grace Westman. She worked at the Catholic school. They awarded her service. She petitioned the court to change Robert's gender when he was 17. That's another thing. Look, I try to stay away from certain conversations, for sure, because it's not gonna be fruitful for anybody. I have my beliefs, and I know other people have their beliefs, but this whole gender situation or issue or dysphoria, whatever you want to call it, that we have in this country, where you have parents who, because their child says, hey, I feel like a girl or I feel like a boy, we're going to go ahead and try to transition them. I don't agree with that. Not only do I not agree with that, but I also think that we gotta stop at some point in time. We gotta have a line that we won't cross in the U.S. And right now, it just seems like there's no line. And Trump being elected, I feel like he's kind of like tied down a lot of these things and changed a lot of things. And that's kind of helped in certain ways. But I also think that the rhetoric from certain sides, more specifically, I mean, we could say the liberals, who categorize everything he's doing as hating people and wanting to remove a whole sect of people, which I don't think is accurate, but it's what's being said, doesn't help the overall talk. You want to live your life a specific way? Fine. You're 18, you can vote, you can do just about almost anything at 18, outside of drink, obviously. 21 is the official age for that. And maybe we should push everything to 21. Or maybe push everything to 18. I don't know. I don't, again, I have my own personal views on that. And I'm not trying to impose on anybody who likes the 18 or dislikes the 18. But we have to set a limit. If we set a limit for some things, we should set a limit for most things, if not all things, including the parents who think their child needs gender affirming care, which to me just sounds like a whole lot of nonsense. Like, you're born one way, you are that. You want to change once you're an adult, fine, go do your thing, go find your people. I don't have a problem with that. But to parade this in front of children, or even to go as far as having parents who think that this is the way to go, to me is crazy. And this is a prime example of someone who they transitioned to be happier, and it doesn't seem like they were happier. Somebody who's happy doesn't do this. Now, I could be wrong. Allegedly, I don't know. This is Twitter, so I could be completely wrong. This could actually not be her, his mom, and he could not be transgender. But judging from the pictures I saw, I would disagree. I wouldn't disagree with my assertion. So let's keep on looking. Let's see what Robin Westman is this. Wait a second. Mass shooting, media extravagance, thoughts, prayers, social media, gun debates. No one actually does anything. Back to normal. Mass shooting. Yeah, I mean, what? This is another thing. Oh, it's like, oh, the guns are a problem. The guns are the problem. The guns are not a problem. The guns are a tool. They're a tool. When used when not used appropriately, you have situations like this. When used appropriately, you have situations that allow defense of yourself, defense of others, and it just is what it is. Like, some things come, I hate saying it like that, but we have bigger issues that lead to this. Removing guns doesn't help anybody. Guns don't kill people. Transgenders on artificial hormones kill people. That's wild. See what he says.
Even by the standards we've very sadly grown used to, the video apparently recorded by the assailant behind the latest school shooting in Minneapolis was utterly chilling. 2 children were killed, one aged 10, one aged 8, and many more injured. The assailant appears to have been attracted to far-right ideology, including apparent signs of racism and anti-Semitism. Rohit and Robert will explain.
Far right? Like, you see just the propaganda being pushed. Far right? Far right.
Also on News at 10 tonight.
I don't, that's crazy. Just to even think that far right is a thing. Breaking news? No, I'm not going to click on that. Let's see. Is this, what's this?
23-year-old Robin Westman was able to leave what police called a video manifesto that they're now going through to try and establish motive. We've also been going through it and can tell you there are crude diagrams of the church. There are also photos of the weapons, and they include all sorts of writings, the names of past mass shooters, criticism of Israel, the name of President Trump written on the guns. There are also racial slurs, nihilistic statements, all painting the picture of a disturbed individual who carried out this mass shooting. 23-year-old Robin Westman.
He's definitely disturbed. I'm not going to argue with you on that. He's beyond disturbed. All right. Fan meeting. Well, this is awkward. Wow, SS. And who else? Who the hell are these? Oh, Russia. And what's this? Is that a furry, I would assume? Because it's a cat. I don't know what that pin says, but... Oh, and Hamas, I guess. There's a turban on the guy on the right. That's crazy. The shit that the internet comes up with is insane. What is this guy?
We have sued them for gender-affirming care. Yes, we are not going to scapegoat our transgender community. And we have sued them to stand up for medical research, National Institute. And we have sued them for gender-affirming care. Yes, we are not going to scapegoat our...
825 Minnesota, A3, AG Keith Elson. We're not going to Minnesota trans Robin Westman open fires on children. It's not scapegoating to call out a disproportionate pattern of evil behavior. Yeah, like 2 days later after him making that speech I don't get it. Demanoid Minneapolis mass shooter Robin Weston walked around saying, praise, little mustache guy as a child ex-friend. So, like, a friend of his said that he said that? That's a bit of hearsay there. It's a crazy situation. Let's go. I wanna see what we have as far as articles. Seeing what we have so far. Let's go to CNN, right? What can we lose? CNN never lies, do they? Yeah, I guess I agree with the legal terms. Let's see what CNN has to say. See if we can. See what you have to say, CNN. We're covering Minneapolis is in mourning after a shooter fired on praying students through the windows of a church yesterday, killing 2 children. 17 other people were wounded, most of them children who were marking the first week of class at Annunciation Catholic school. It's unclear when classes will resume. The shooter, now dead, was identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman. Westman shared a manifesto on social media that is being investigated. Police said the shooter graduated from the school, which serves preschool to 8th grade students, in 2017. The attack is the largest in a string of deadly shootings in Minnesota It is also the 44th school shooting in the U.S. this year, according to CNN analysis. It's prompted some Democrats to renew calls for gun control. Of course it does. CNN correspondent just wrecks you to see children writing messages to dead classmates. In an emotional moment, CNN correspondent Whitney Wild talked about how tough it is to see children write messages to their dead classmates following yesterday's horrific shooting at Annunciation Catholic School. I hope I'm saying that right. In Minneapolis, this community is just reeling from the reality that two of their classmates, two students, two angels, as was described by the principal, will no longer be with them. There's a memorial. Whoops. Oh, I'll call him back later. There's a memorial that's growing outside the church, Wild told CNN's Pamela Brown. Wild added that she and Brown both have kids, both before getting emotional, describing how the young students are having to attend a memorial for their classmates. To agonize. The agony of losing a child to gun violence stays with you forever, father says. Yeah, it's horrible, man. It's heartbreaking that, someone would really attack children. Like, go attack a police station. See how good you'd fare. Like, it's just ridiculous. I'm not saying go do that. I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna pick, like, attack adults, man. Leave the kids out of it. The kids had nothing to do with it. Your beef with the school, your beef with your personal life, and, obviously, here it says no mention of transgender, but judging by the pictures and what I see, I would be surprised if it wasn't transgender. But I'd also be surprised if CNN would even actually say that they were. You would expect them not to. Let's see. Minneapolis. Let's see if Fox News. What does Fox News say? Oh, they actually got a video. Let's watch this real quick. Of course, an ad. But while that ad plays, let's see if we can. Okay, so.
Shooter has been identified as 20. Hey, Jesse. Well, we have just learned more details that the shooter has been identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman. But according to court documents, this person changed their name to Robin from Robert in 2019. Those court records reveal the shooter's mother, who reportedly once worked for the school, applied for the name change and wrote, quote, "Minor child identifies as female and wants her name to reflect the identification." Local investigators also say the shooter's writings have been found and are now being reviewed.
We're also aware of a manifesto.
There you have it. We saw that video already. There you have it. Confirmed. It was transgender person, woman, man, whatever. It's crazy. Like, what it's just sad, man, because I like, I have friends who have kids. I have my own family members who have kids. I got nieces and nephews, and it's just like, it's just heartbreaking to think that you send your kid to school and they end up losing their life because some nut job who couldn't figure out whether he was a boy or girl decides to take their aggression out on defenseless kids. Like, there's nothing more enraging than that, and it genuinely annoys me that he took his own life because there's nothing we can do about it. Like, he took the easy way out. I almost wish he would have got caught so he could catch a beating, because it's like, there's nothing I could say that would make this situation better. It's just a horrible story all the way around. So, I'm just move on to the next story, which, it's sad. But let's talk about Mr. John Bolton over here. If you guys didn't know, let's go over here. John Bolton, who at one point, so he was the Secretary of State, or he was under the Secretary of State from 2001 to 2005. He was the ambassador to the United Nations from 2005 to 2006. He was National Security Advisor from 2008 to 2009 for President Trump. So he's been around the block. A lot of people would say he's a warmonger. You've seen Trump a few times talk about him and say things like, he just want to start wars. And I like to have him by my side, because when he walked in, people were worried, like, oh, he's gonna blow our country to smithereens. But not just that, he's an interesting character. And if you read here, which is something I found before I started recording, obviously, he put let's see, so he Bolton was a supporter of the Vietnam War, but avoided combat through a student deferment, followed by enlisting in the Maryland Air National Guard. During the 1969 Vietnam War charity lottery, Bolton drew number 185. Draft numbers were randomly assigned to birth dates. Someone born on December 31st could have received number 1. Numbers 1 through 195 were eventually called up. As a result of the Johnson and Nixon administration decisions to rely largely on the draft rather than on reserve forces, joining a guard or reserve unit became a way to reduce the chances to serve in Vietnam War. So, for all intents and purposes, he's a draft dodger, as they would say, right? He didn't want to go to Vietnam. Now, if you didn't know, Bolton had his house raided recently, and this is actually his X account or his Twitter, whatever. I always never know how to say that, man. All right, but John Bolton. So let's see what we could figure out. Why he had his house raided, right? Because I found it interesting, and I noticed a lot of the commentary too was like, oh, look at Trump using the DOJ to go after people who talk smack about him. And regardless of your opinion, whether you want to say it or not, if the dude has files, right, or has anything that is arrestable for, which I would assume the FBI is not just kicking somebody's door in because for no reason, right? So let's just see what comes out of it. But let's watch this video real quick. This is Trump talking about.
Yeah.
Mr. President, the security detail for Anthony Fauci was terminated last night, and I'm wondering if you have any comment.
Wait a second. This is not that. Oh, wait, yeah. They're actually going to ask him about Bolton. This is the right one.
About what?
The security detail for Anthony Fauci was terminated last night, sir. Do you have a comment?
No, I think, when you work for government, at some point your security detail comes off. And, you can't have them forever. So I think it's very standard. If it would be for somebody else, you wouldn't be asking the question. The question is very fair. But
what happened to, say, Dr. Fauci or John Bolton?
No, happens.
Would you feel partially responsible if something would happen to, say, Dr. Fauci or John Bolton?
No. They all made a lot of money. They can hire their own security, too. All the people you're talking about, they can go out. I can give them some good numbers of very good security people. They can hire their own security. They all made a lot of money. Fauci made a lot of money. They all did. So if they, felt that strongly, I think that certainly I would not take responsibility.
Yeah, so even in that, I think, again, one of the reasons Trump won and so many people like Trump is because he talks about things from a perspective that everyday people understand. It's like, yeah, how are you not working for the government anymore and still have a security team that is paid for by the taxpayer? Why not just hire your own security team? You made enough money. You're in the upper echelons of the upper echelons of society. So why not be able to hire your own team? It's just interesting how they always try to scapegoat it. So this was
when President Trump was in office last time, because John Bolton wrote a book.
There we go. So
I did not realize this, but there was a probe going on when President Trump was in office last time, because John Bolton wrote a book, and he violated his NDA, the president said, in doing it, and he felt as though there were classified information in that book. The probe dropped when Joe Biden became president. So is this picking up where that left off, David?
It's possible. I don't know with 100% certainty, but it is notable, guys, that John Bolton, Ambassador Bolton's security clearances were stripped earlier this year by President Trump. Tulsi Gabbard, the director of national intelligence, took that security clearance away. They had concerns. The administration had concerns about Ambassador Bolton still being able to access some of these documents and have some of those security clearances. It's also notable that John Bolton had a security detail as well.
Again, back to the security detail, but also the ability to access classified information when you're not a part of the government. Why? I don't agree with all of the talking points necessarily, but that's a good perspective. What do you gain? You're not advising anybody. You're not doing anything for the president or even in that field. So why would you need that? And then also part of the raids is because they say he has classified information, which ironically enough was the same thing that Trump got raided for. So I find it interesting that Trump actually did, and again, maybe it wasn't Trump didn't give the order, but they definitely had to let Trump. They definitely would have let Trump know that they were raiding. I would think, at least. I don't think the FBI is just gonna go and do this without at least letting the White House know. I would assume that they would say something, because this, if they just go in his house and there's nothing, there's no evidence, there's no proof, they don't find anything, this could look really, really bad for Trump. But if they find something and they end up going to court and he either gets prosecuted or there's something that comes out of it, then you start seeing, I think you'll have people look at it from a perspective and be like, okay, well, there's something came out of it. Now, there's gonna be people who, no matter what happens, they're gonna be like, hell no, this is not it. This, what Trump is doing is illegal, and all the, the Trump derangement system and Trump derangement syndrome. And I understand there's going to be people like that, because there's people on both sides who, no matter what the other side does, it's always bad, it's always tyrannical, it's always trying to remove your rights and trying to hurt the American public. But at some point in time, we got to look at the situation and look at it. If he has those files and they are classified and he's not supposed to have them, or he's sharing information, he's leaking information, something has to be done, and all of this could be a distraction from the Epstein files, which we already know we're probably not going to get them, even though we want them. And there's definitely sounds like there was enough evidence to at least look into them and at least give the public more than what they gave them. But this could also, the other side of that coin would be, this could also be something where he's starting with very low-hanging fruit, and that low-hanging fruit might give up more things in the future. Now, that's complete speculation on my part. I don't know. But if that's what's happening, that's a good thing. If it's just retribution and this guy goes down and nothing else happens, then I'm still going to be questioning Trump. And I still question Trump to this point, because he's done some good things, but he also hasn't done everything he said he would do. So this is a really interesting kind of situation, an interesting point that we're in, because we're maybe, I don't know how many, almost a year into his presidency, and 7-8 months into his presidency, and we've now finally gotten something, I guess some people are calling, the deep state or whatever. They finally got some of the deep state. But if not, again, like I said earlier, if nothing comes of this, what are we gonna it's just gonna look like witch hunt, and Trump's gonna look even worse. And I would even agree with that. If there's nothing there, the length that he's gone to right now already, if they don't find anything, it's gonna look fishy. So I think this was Bolton a couple of days before his house was raided. Let's see, for all the John Bolton flaws, the one thing I did enjoy about the man was he was undoubtedly the most straight talking blob monster in the swamp. Most spooks speak in cryptic spook speak, but Bolton, he was a lab-grown science experiment injected with accidental truth serum. Oh boy, let's see what he said.
One doesn't have to be brilliant to attempt a coup.
I disagree with that. As somebody who has helped plan coup d'etat, not here, but other places, it takes a lot of work, and that's not what he did.
When we were talking about what is capable, what you need to do to be able to plan a coup, and you cited your expertise having planned coups.
I'm not going to get into the specifics.
One doesn't have to be brilliant to attempt.
That's crazy. And listen, look, we live a very good life. Most of us Americans, right? I would say a large majority of Americans live a very good life. We have the rule of law somewhat, and some people will argue that, but we have the ability to, chase. It's called the pursuit of happiness. We have the ability of pursuit of happiness, right? Regardless of what you want to call that, whether it's, you can do whatever you want, whether it's you can go to school, get an education, get a good job, get married, and some of these parts of life are being attacked. But regardless of what you think of America, we live in a society that's benefited from a lot of people like him and others who have committed atrocities around the world to benefit our society. And that's undeniable. It's just a fact. The fact that he can go out and say these things, and then even within that segment, he said, "Oh, I've planned coups, not here, of course." Goes to show you the liberty of certain level individuals. And if he's willing to say that on national TV, I'm willing to bet that he is fairly sloppy in private. And that's probably why his door got kicked in. It's just a guesstimation. I'm just assuming here. I don't have any inside information. I don't have any information to say, oh, that is what is going on, and that's not what's going on. But I'm willing to bet that he is sloppy in private because of the luxuries he's been afforded, because of the industry he's been in most of his life. And I'll just leave it there. Let's see what Jesse Waters has to say, and then we'll move on to the next story.
This might have nothing to do with classified documents or about classified intelligence that Bolton printed in his book. Trump Justice Insider Mike Davis says Democrats, rhinos, and reporters who think this raid on John Bolton is about his book will be very embarrassed when the search warrant becomes public.
I hope they make him.
Primetime's hearing Bolton was making a lot of money from overseas and may have been trafficking in intelligence.
Oh, boy.
That wouldn't be putting America first. Constitutional scholar Jonathan Turley, who we just heard from, says Bolton could be looking at up to 20 years in prison.
Sheesh.
So Bolton should take his own advice and take a big, beautiful, deep breath.
I think it's important that everybody take a deep breath here. This is a very serious matter, and it would be better if
this might have.
Wow. I'm telling you right now, if he gets 20 years, he's gonna roll. He's gonna roll, just like the Joker said. He's gonna squeal, and I know a squealer when I see one. Either he's gonna squeal or something's gonna happen to him. He's gonna have a heart attack, or you already know how they play the game. Same thing that happened to Epstein. And by the way, I still want the files, Trump. I know you've been doing a decent job, but I want the files, man. I don't care what nobody says. I want those freaking files. I want to see see if we have anything from or see if we have any articles about John Bolton and what's going on. The Independent? What's it? I never heard of this journal. Never heard of the Independent. Collapsing in confusion and haste. John Bolton slams Trump in first comment since FBI raid. Oh, he made comments? Oh, he's wild. He's talking? He's outside? Oh, there's a video actually. Let's play the video. Let's see what Trump said about this.
No, I don't know about it. I saw it on television this morning. I'm not a fan of John Bolton. He's a real sort of a lowlife.
He's a piece of work.
When I hired him, he served a good purpose because, as you know, he was one of the people that forced Bush to do the ridiculous bombings in the Middle East. Bolton, he wants to always kill people, and he's very bad at what he does. But he worked out great for me because every time he doesn't talk, he's like a very quiet person, except on television. If he could say something bad about Trump, he'll always do that. But he really doesn't talk. He's quiet. And I'd walk into a room with him with a foreign country, and the foreign country would give me everything because they said, oh no, they're going to get blown up because John Bolton's there. He's not a smart guy, but he could be a very unpatriotic guy. I mean, we're going to find out. I know nothing about it. I just saw it this morning. They did a raid.
Do you expect...
Yeah, I don't know if I believe that, but let's see. Let's see what Donald Trump said last week. FBI. Let's see his first comments on the raid. Bolton wrote an op-ed Monday in the Washington Examiner slamming Trump's Russia-Ukraine policies following his meeting with the country's respective leaders. Donald Trump's Ukraine policy today is no more coherent than it was last Friday when the administration executed search warrants against my home and office. Bolton began collapsing in confusion and haste. Trump's negotiations may be in their last threes. along with his Nobel Peace Prize campaign. Yeah, again, I don't. This is why sometimes I don't talk about politics. It's like, who do you believe? Do we believe Trump's doing a good job? Do we believe he's not? Do we believe Bolton? Like, what do we? Someone in the chat put Walrus Man. Yeah, he does look like that mustache is crazy. He probably gets food stuck in his mustache all the time. But regardless, back to this thought process. This is one of the reasons I don't debate a lot of politics, because it's like, who are we gonna believe? How do you know I have the right information? How do I know they have the right information? It's always like this smoke screen of, no, well, this person said this and this person said that, and I don't like this, and this person's a great person, but that person's not, and the deep state, and it's like, I don't got time for that shit, man. I'm just trying to make money and get to the top, man. Whatever the top may look like for my life, but make some money, go on some vacations, meet some beautiful women, enjoy myself, like drive fast cars. That's it. It's simple. So let's move on to the last story. Let's make it a little bit, let's lighten up the mood, because we talking about all this stuff and it's just like so harrowing and so negative. But let's talk about Cracker Barrel. And as you can see here by the meme, which was the meme I used on the thumbnail, Cracker Barrel's not going anywhere. And if you're wondering why I'm saying that, let's go. I don't know why I spelled it like that, but let's go to Cracker Barrel. And actually, I should go Cracker Barrel CEO comments, because I want to show a video of what she thought, of how good she thought Cracker Barrel was doing. So let's go ahead and as you know, this was so they were going to they changed the logo from the one on the left to the one on the right. Okay. And then, everybody was like pissed. People were upset, but I want to show which that's funny. It just, like, if you compare Bud Light and then Bud Light with Mulvaney on the cover, that's hilarious. That's funny. Even welcome, crack. It's Aunt Jemima. I don't know who the black dude is, but Lando Lakes, the Indian dude, and it's Ben. Is it Uncle Ben? I think the dude on the right side is Uncle Ben, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, we gotta stop with this shit. Like, they need to put the Cleveland Indian dude up there too. The logo for the Cleveland Indians, which again, it's wild. Like, and also the logo for the Washington Redskins. Like, man, bring all that shit back. Why are people upset? It's so ridiculous. Sydney Sweeney in the Cracker Barrel uniform. That's hilarious. Yeah, I'd go to that Cracker Barrel. But where is the comments? I know I had a video. I thought I had it queued up. Clearly, I don't. And I definitely gotta get to that phone call. But let's finish this real quick, because I wanna Cracker Barrel CEO comments. Let's see if it pops up this way. Oh, come on. There. This is it. Yep, this is it. So when they first changed the logo, which again is right here, as you can see, right? They changed the logo, and it was the bottom logo, which is just, it's kind of simplistic. It's just like, what are we doing here? It's just like, how do you have a place called Cracker Barrel? And the previous logo had clearly what was a white guy in a barrel, and now there's no white guy or barrel. So why are we still calling it Cracker Barrel? But regardless, enough of me. Let's hear what her thoughts were right after she changed the logo.
Honestly, the feedback's been overwhelmingly positive that people like what we're doing. I'll give you another soundbite. I actually happened to be in Orlando last week with all of our managers. We bring them together and once every other year. And the number one question that I got asked, Michael, was, how can I get a remodel? When can I get a remodel? How do I get on the list?
Oh, really?
So because the feedback and the buzz is so good, not only from our customers, but from our team members. They want to work in a wonderful restaurant. So we're doing everything for our guests and our team members.
Well, Julie Messino, it's wonderful to have you here.
Pleasure to be
here.
Thank you
for answering those questions for all the Cracker Barrel fans out there. There's a lot of great changes.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Robin?
Can I get in writing that the peg game is going to stay?
The peg game is staying.
Okay.
So are the rocking chairs, fireplace, vintage decor. It's all there.
All right. Okay.
That's not true, because they changed the decor. Look at this. Look at how plain that looks. That looks like the sign on the honey. Is it honey made graham crackers? Like, come on, man. Inclusion barrel. Breaking news. So following nearly 100. Oh yeah, the stock. So that's the other thing I wanted to talk about, right? So if we go to, let's go look at Cracker Barrel. I don't know why did I oh my God. Stock. So look at that. Let's look at a year. Look at where it was, right? A nice little $64, which is, again, it's not that bad of a drop. This is a year ago now, so it dropped all the way down to 42. Now, if we look at the last 30 days, let's go a little bit before 30 days. Look at this. It's at $60 right now, and the market's open, so that's what it's trading at. But still, it had, if not one of the lowest, and this is today. This is today. So, interesting. Let's look at, hold on, let's look at the 5-year. Yeah, see, so it's at almost its lowest. It went as far as 45, I want to say, is the lowest it's been, if you look at it from a 5-year perspective. So like the highest was what, $175, and then it's increasingly since 2001. Since April 1st of 2001, it's gone from 172 to where it is now, which is $60. Yeah, I don't think you got a very good response from people changing the logo. And I know I saw a lot of people talking a lot of smack, and they were not happy. This is funny. Cracker Barrel CEO Garth from Wayne's World. Oh man, it's just like, it's crazy. I think this was a lady whose dad did some of the games at Cracker Barrel. I'm gonna play some of this clip. I won't play the full clip, but
Cracker Barrel's changing their logo back. But before y'all go and run to have your biscuits and cornbread, let me tell you something. 56 years ago, Danny Evans, the founder of Cracker Barrel, and my grandfather, Ollie Qualls, got together and decided it would be a cool idea to put a game on Cracker Barrel's table. The first day Cracker Barrel opened its doors, our games were on their tables. After several years, my dad, Adrian Qualls, took over Qualls & Son Novelties. And my daddy put his blood, sweat, and tears into that company to make it what it was. In 2019, me, Andrea Kraft, and my husband Alex took over Qualls & Son. That also just happened to be Cracker Barrel's 50th anniversary and also our 50th anniversary. They actually brought a whole camera crew into our workshop to showcase us on their social media as a longtime vendor, 50 years of memories with them since day one. We didn't get anything for this, mind you. This was just bragging rights for them. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and let that run. We've been in business with Cracker Barrel.
Oh, we can't play that. It has music. But yeah, that's welcome, Cracker. Just coming to say hi. I'm gonna head back. So this is the interior of what it used to look like. Let's see if we have a remodeled version. Let's see, remodeled version of the interior. So this is what it, yeah. This is what it, so look, it's like hilarious. It's like a general, like, place. It's not what we want, guys. This, and this are two very different things. This is too bright. Nobody wants that. You want a taste of the southernness. You want the photos on the wall. You want a little bit of racism in there is okay. You know, come on, it's called the Cracker Barrel. Come on, guys. Like, we can't keep doing this to stuff. It's not okay. It is not okay. I, as a black man, oppose changing Cracker Barrel. 100% oppose it. And they got good food. I'm not even gonna lie. I've ate there before. It's good food. The vibe's cool. I've never really had an issue looking. Oh, the internet is undefeated. Look at that. Oh my God. So this is Sydney Sweeney, right? And this is what's that? Nora Thunberg or Gloria, whatever, something Thunberg. That's the I don't know how to categorize this. I don't want to get canceled, but I'm pretty sure she's like, she has Down syndrome and she like fights for climate change and shit. Like her and Andrew Tate got into it back and forth. And this is oh, look at this. Oh boy. Cracker Barrel LGBTQ Alliance. Yeah, we're just gonna casually scroll past that, just like it was.
Equity, and inclusion. That's why we are going one step further to ruin our brand. We are investing millions of dollars into replacing all of brown pegs in the peg game to bright, colorful pegs. Also, we're changing the rules. The white pegs are not allowed to move or jump anymore, leaving the colored pegs to do whatever they want. We call it Down with the Cracker. It's about...
Oh, it has music. I can't keep playing it, but that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Oh my god. What is the difference in the bottles? 100% pure maple syrup, dark amber maple syrup, farms. wait, what? 50 something, 55% pure maple syrup, 45% cane syrup. Oh my god, this is it. Just like yo, they shit the bed on this one. Nancy Green died in 1923 at 89, one of America's first black millionaires. Born a slave, she became a wealthy superstar in advertising as the living trademark of Aunt Jemima. She used her stature to advocate against poverty and equal rights. A success story now erased. Exactly. Like this is like why bring Aunt Jemima back, guys? Who wants to bring Aunt Jemima back? Like I want to bring Aunt Jemima back. I'm down for it. Like we need to stop doing this shit. Racism is dead. Besides some people who don't like certain folk, and that's their problem. That's not our problem. We don't need to make it a mainstream problem. It's ridiculous. Like it's beyond ridiculous. So let's see. New game, old game, new game. Wait a second. What's going on here? Cracker Barrel. I don't get it. I can't really read that. It doesn't look. It's not very clear, but let's see what this.
From Old American Nostalgia. You've probably heard by now about Cracker Barrel changing their logo from Old American Nostalgia to cold, dead, lifeless, and modern. In a comedic way, as one friend said to me, they removed the cracker and the barrel, so what's left now? And the answer's nothingness. The same nothingness that the left wants you to stomach in every other facet of your life. And if you think this is just a logo change, you're wrong.
Robbie Starbuck.
Robbie Starbuck.
Robbie Starbuck. Robbie Starbuck.
Robbie Starbuck.
Robbie, I'm a big fan of what you do and your wife. Corporate America listens to.
Okay, that has music, so unfortunately I can't play it before I get canceled again. So yeah, look, with that, guys, you see what we talked about today. Crazy times we're living in. Just like the thumbnail said, pancakes or waffles. I forget what I even put in the thumbnail now at this point in time, but just it's been a crazy week, and the week's not even over. We have a whole day, Friday, tomorrow. Today's Thursday, obviously. So tomorrow we have a whole day worth of things to cover, and I couldn't pass up these chances to talk about these topics because it's like, who knows what's gonna happen. I wanna also say condolences to all the families in Minneapolis who lost children, and also the children that were injured. It's heart-throbbing to just think that somebody would do that, but we as a country have always been good at coming together in times of need, and times where things don't look the best. So I hope that everyone can send their prayers to those families, and we can try to move towards something better in this country where it's not just the color of our skin or the situations, or stereotypes and depicting people via their situations. Like, we gotta be better. We just have to be better. It's just what it is. And with that, I definitely want to say you gotta throw Roger Jackson in jail. Throw his ass in jail. He needs to go to jail. He needs a reality check. Okay. Rampage Jackson, stop being a dick to your kid. Be nice. It's not that hard. Just be nicer. That's it. He just needs his dad. Okay. John Bolton, if you did something wrong, throw his ass in jail. Yeah, definitely gotta throw his ass in jail. And Cracker Barrel and all the other companies watching Cracker Barrel, clearly they didn't learn from Bud Light and what they did. and the stunt they try to pull, and they clearly didn't learn from Jaguar. So any other companies, don't pull this stunt. I'm trying to tell you, it's a saying for a reason. Go woke, go broke. I didn't make it up. I'm not fighting for it. People stood up and said, we don't want this shit. And they got their cracker and their barrel back. And I'm happy for those people. Regardless of if they like me or not, I really don't care. It doesn't bother me, okay? And the last thing I'm going to say is, this Cracker Barrel situation is a perfect example of what happens when we come together. If we come together, our buying power is a lot stronger than anything else, period. So, with that said, guys, I appreciate all the love and all the subscribers I've gained. We are on the path to get monetized. We are almost monetized. We're right there. I need you guys to share, like, subscribe. Make sure you leave a comment. It helps out the algorithm, and it makes sure that other people can check out the video. So do me that favor. And if you want to support for free, that's all you got to do. Just like it. Subscribe. Even if you guys say something stupid, just throw a comment in there. I don't care. I'll respond back. I'll roast you in the comments. You can roast me. I don't care. Let's just have fun with it. All right? And until next